Hey Curlies, it's Savannah Curls coming back at you with a midweek moisture video. It's definitely safe to say that I am feeling myself at this point in time. My curls have never popped like this before, and it is definitely the first time I have been able to maintain a wash and go. My wash and goes are really airy. They don't stick to each other. There's great movement at the root, and I really feel like I've gotten to a really good place with my technique. And for those who needed proof all the way in the back, that is definitely my scalp and my roots. This is definitely new for me, simply because a great majority of my hair journey has been spent in the military, where my hair has always had to be in updos and twists or braids. But it feels nice to be able to actually wear my hair out, explore every kink, coil, twist, and bend, and just have fun and show myself that I can, with my 4C hair, do the same thing. I'm really digging my texture at this point, and I really love this for me. But getting started, we're gonna go ahead and do the refresh. You're gonna need simply clips, maybe some kind of moisturizer of choice, and mine happens to be my Ayurvedic Herbal Aloe anti-shedding scalp treatment, as well as my Ayurvedic hair and body oil. Just gonna take a small amount into one section at a time. Gently work in. I prefer to more or less like squeeze in and smooth in, as opposed to like separating with my fingers and disturbing my pattern and creating frizz. I just kind of squeeze in the moisture of the treatment, making sure to get down into the roots, cover each and every hair strand. A little explanation about the Herbal Aloe anti-shedding scalp treatment is that it is aloe based. It is more of a water based, no glycerin product. So it's simply just going to deposit the moisture onto the hair, and then I am going to seal it with my Ayurvedic hair and body oil. I really love this oil because it has a beautiful catatonic slip due to the Mamaru butter formulation that's in it. And then you're simply going to gently separate gently separate where it naturally wants to separate. And then you're going to make a twist. When you get to the very end of your twist, spiral your hair around your finger. Then you're going to repeat around your whole head. With more of a water-based product in your hair and a sealant, it's easy to greenhouse method your hair. So if you take a plastic bag and kind of sort of incubate your hair underneath it and let your natural body heat open up the cuticles of your hair and allow the moisture in. It really helps with the penetration of whichever water-based product you decide to use. Mine is of choice the Ayurvedic Herbal Aloe Anti-Shedding Scalp Treatment. When it comes to allowing your hair to dry, you could do it in two ways. You can either allow your hair to dry overnight underneath your bonnet, or you could take the extra step and band your hair with scrunchies. I prefer to use silk scrunchies and allow my hair to dry in a stretched state while I sleep, and so that I don't have to keep scrunching and manipulating it by hand with my hands the next day. Silk scrunchie banding removal is incredibly easy. Silk has a near zero surface friction, so it's not going to really disturb any of the cast or the pattern that's been created by the twist or your hair before you put it up in twist. It's very important not to create any fuzz during the takedown, and so I feel like silk scrunchies and investment into silk scrunchies are a must, at least for me, when it comes to maintaining my wash and go throughout the week. If you are extremely careful and used a really good quality oil during your twist portion of moisturizing your hair and setting it, then it should be incredibly easy to separate without creating frizz. The technique is that your hair has to be 110% dry. It doesn't necessarily mean your hair is dry. It just means your hair has been infused with the oil and your hair is dry enough to take down. So when you finish gently separating each section, when you go to separate, you're just going to separate where it naturally wants to separate. If it feels like it's going to give you any issues, then leave that particular section alone and separate where it readily wants to separate from each other. Using my Ayurvedic hair and body oil formulated with mamaru butter, I am actually going to stretch my hair even further than this. I'm going to gently scrunch the oil into each section, allow it to lubricate each individual curl, each individual twist, and then once each section is lubricated, I'm going to take a silk scrunchie and stretch that particular section overnight so I can just fluff out in the morning. To individually separate, I go in with my hands already lubricated with the oils, and I simply take my time with feeling where those natural separations are starting to occur, and I'll just go with it. I won't go against the grain of that natural separation because it's just going to create like a tangling issue and stuff like that. And so I just simply separate. I cannot stress that enough. Separate where it feels natural for it to separate. I don't try to force it. If it doesn't look like it's trying to be individual, then I won't. If it looks like it's in a big cluster, then I'll leave it alone until the next wash day. But I don't have big clusters like that. Thank goodness, because that'll just create a tangle. But where it naturally wants to separate is where I allow it to separate. In this particular section, I am going to take my time, stretch at the tips of my hair to the best I can so I can visually see where the natural separations are trying to occur, and then I'll go ahead and separate. I know it looks like I'm moving incredibly fast, but I guess at this point I really know my hair. I know where it clumps at, and I know what separations to look for, and so I just go for those that naturally want to separate, smooth it down, and gently separate. It's easy when I guess you and your hair are at a really good place and you know what to look for. I'm going to repeat this step over the rest of the other sections. Keep in mind that the video has been sped up for the sake of time, but I do not ever move that fast when it comes to separating my hair. I'm much more careful. This is pretty much all the hair that I lost during the time period of stretching, smoothing my hair, and prepping it for my wash and go. This is how my hair looked after I was done doing an 8-hour pop-up in the middle of the summer. My hair still looks great, and all I'm going to do to prep my hair and keep it in shape for its wash and go is to band my hair with silk scrunchies and fluff in the morning.